Nexon founder Jung-ju is reportedly looking to sell a 98.65% controlling stake in the company's holding firm NXC Corp for around $8.9 billion, as reported by Reuters via the Korean Economic Daily. Shares in the Tokyo-based video game company, which operates various popular mobile and PC titles like MapleStory Obra Dinn Theater Online, jumped by around 30% following the news. The company has also helped bring a number of popular franchises like Need for Speed, Final Fantasy FIFA, and Counter-Strike to the South Korean market. Morgan Stanley and Deutsche Bank have seemingly been brought in to manage the sale, and there's reported interest from potential buyers, including Kakao Corp Netmarble EA, and Tencent. 11-bit Studios has raised $500,000 for War Child United Kingdom by creating charity DLC for this War of Mine. The 4 years since the game launched, the studio pledged to donate 100% of the cash from its charity DLC to a British organization, which is dedicated to helping children affected by conflict all around the world. Since then, over $500,000 has been donated to the cause, helping War Child deliver aid throughout countries including Afghanistan, Iraq, the Central African Republic, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Yemen. The cash has allowed for the creation of 3 temporary learning spaces, allowing 260 children to carry on with their education and complete their school year, while also providing summer schooling to 475 students in Iraq. It has also helped place 26 unaccompanied children with foster families in the Central African Republic, facilitated the opening of a new fundraising arm at War Child that's dedicated to working with AMers, and granted 840 children aged 4 to 6 access to early childhood and care development in Kabul and Herat. If you have not already, you can support War Child United Kingdom directly by clicking this link, or by purchasing the This War of Mine charity DLC on Steam. Emma Kidwell, at Emmakidwell, is a contributing editor at Gamasutra and SOMETIMES content for the web. I hardly played any video games, at least in 2018, with the exception of Detroit Become Human, its first and only mention in my GOTY. I missed most of the new hits. I am not sure if it's because 2018 felt like an eternity and drained my desire to do anything. Yikes. But I think I was just too busy, not busy doing anything productive, but finding myself going back to play older games like Overwatch, Drive, Mario, or Jeopardy, instead with my friends and partner. I gravitated toward games with a social aspect. This past year's inset was my first full year working remotely for Gamasutra. Adjusting to a different schedule than your peers is difficult at first, but socializing through games helped a lot. I was also reminded a few days ago that I can write off video game purchases during tax season. So here's to 2019. In no particular order, here are my top 5 games released this year. Florence is a game I have thought about often since playing it toward the beginning of the year. Before diving into why it's a unique experience, I want to applaud the developers for making a game that's the perfect length of time, clocking in at around 2 hours. Florence tells a story about love at a great pace. The game takes the generic formula of a traditional relationship, meeting, falling in love, falling out of love, but it tells it in such a compelling way through its effective use of simple mechanics, powerful score, and a unique art style. Games without lots of dialogue a text need to go the extra mile to convey an engaging and emotional story effectively, and Florence absolutely nails it. I am not going to give away any story spoilers, because I encourage you to take the time to play it yourself. I will say that Florence is made for mobile, and other short narrative games would find themselves a great home on the platform. Mobile is confined to a very small subset of mechanics: tapping, swiping, or holding an icon on your screen. Those constraints serve as powerful storytelling tools right for innovation. The game in its entirety is made up of small, digestible vignettes of very personal and intimate moments in adult relationships where both the good and the bad are shared in a special way. The nice thing about writing a personal GOTY list is that games ported to different platforms get a free pass, which means I can stand on my soapbox to talk about how important a Mortician's Tale is. To start off, this game works incredibly well for mobile. Simple point-and-click mechanics from its PC counterpart transitioned over smoothly to the small screen. I prefer mobile because it felt more personal this time around as I gently guided Bones over to the cremulator. I am not going to talk about how the American funeral industry preys on society's collective fear of death and dying, but a Mortician's Tale will, and not in a ham-fisted, preachy way. The game teaches you about a field often shrouded in misinformation and mystery in a very respectful and engaging way that is so unique to this medium. Do yourself a favor and play it. House Flipper is my go-to. Listen to a podcast and mentally check out for a few hours kind of game. That's in no way an insult. Like many other games on this list, it's the ideal amount of length. I usually play in 2-hour chunks, and literally watching paint dry is part of the fun. I had zero expectations when this game popped up in my library, but it's the most delightful title I have played in a while, especially when I am looking to relax. Yes, cleaning up piles of virtual garbage and scrubbing dirty floors is my ideal way to unwind. House Flipper is engaging enough to complete tasks without feeling like a chore, so you can upgrade your tools, earn more money, and complete strange requests for the homeowners you are doing manual, contracted labor for. It's a simulation game much like driving a truck through the mountains or tending to a field of crops. Except this simulation game is active in a way I really like, where my contributions have some payoff and I see the result of my efforts. It's a great game to play and come back to multiple times and go right back to stomping a bunch of roaches out. I do not like feeling dumb when I play a game, and I felt incredibly dumb during my time with Return of the Obra Dinn. Even though I felt stupid going back and forth between my handwritten notes on the squinting against the description of Man with Weird Nose, and the artist's rendition of its crew members, I never felt dejected. I am not going to spoil any part of this game, because it's essential that everyone reading this feel as dumb and going as blind as I did. And nothing is more rewarding than solving something correctly with all the facts in place and the game rewarding you for it. The mystery of the Obra Dinn is compelling, and there was absolutely no way I uncovered all its secrets, especially with how poorly I played. Despite being a terrible insurance claims woman and a horrible detective, the game was incredible from start to finish. The visuals, soundtrack, pacing, it hit all the right notes. While it's the longest game on my list, time flew by as I was playing. It's the best detective game I have played, and it never holds your hand. I am not used to that in my games, so it was refreshing. I only wish I could have found someone who'd died of scurvy. The theme of my GOTY list seems to be games that are the perfect amount of length, and a frog detective game is just about an hour long under damn delight. I do want to stand on my soapbox a second and take time to appreciate small games like a frog detective game, being light-hearted, genuine, and including well-written silly dialogue. I oftentimes forget these gems exist among the sea of big releases and backlog of games in my repertoire, but I encourage you to give your money and time to indie games made by a small team. I am certainly glad I did, and I had a genuinely great time playing a frog detective game. Play this little game, and then play a few smaller games like it. The score is appropriately wide. The frog protagonist is refreshingly optimistic, and it was a great way to spend an hour. Video games now account for more than half of the entire United Kingdom entertainment market, according to a new report from the Entertainment Retailers Association. The United Kingdom games industry was worth $86 billion, $85 billion in 2018, which is more than double the combined